promotions throughout the year. So come and download games to receive your rewards. More exciting apps and massive games are also available on Huawei App Gallery Zero.
Yep, definitely. Huawei has been a huge supporter of the Odin Cup so far. They are providing a lot of great goodies for both viewers as well as the participants in this, as you can see here. For the top 32 stage, the player who kills the boss in the main battlefield as well as the player who gets the highest points in the secondary battlefield will receive a Huawei Band 6 proudly provided by Huawei. And there will be a total of 96 of these Huawei Band 6 given away for all the participants who've actually won. And not to mention the top 16 as well as the quarterfinals. The MVPs will be getting either a Huawei FreeBuds SE or a Huawei FreeBuds Pro, depending on the stage they're playing in. And each of these players cannot be too greedy. They can only get one of these prizes, so they have to share amongst their groups. But these are still fantastic prizes brought to you by Huawei as well.
Yeah, and that's not only the rewards that we provide for the players, but we also provide rewards for those who join us in live stream and also for those who join our official Discord community. This is what the most important thing to do. An exclusive invitation from our Discord tavern. You can come and receive the bountiful rewards like a free in-game items available daily for you. You can also find party mates, join guilds, and watch the tournament, especially this Odin Cup together in Discord. And also you can have an access to a massive collection of game guides. And also, I think the most important thing to know why you should join our Discord is because you can be the first to know about the page updates.
Definitely. Huge patches coming in, being teased in the Discord for a long time already. And if you're in the Discord, they are actually posting first-hand news. Anywhere else will be slightly delayed, but in the Discord is where you'll get the fastest news on any updates or any changes in Ragnar Online Origin Global. So definitely make sure you're in the Discord. Make sure you're verified as an adventurer. To do that, just join the Discord, go to the ROO's channel, click verify as adventurer, and you'll be eligible to participate in monthly community raffles. It is 100 Nyan berries given away every month to 100 players. So definitely you want to be a part of that.
Yeah, and also you can follow our Facebook and subscribe our YouTube so you can see a lot of more awesome videos and you can get a weekly bonus from our Facebook. And after all that's been said, I'm sure all adventurers can't wait to find out the value of the Odin Trophy itself, which represents the highest glory of the Midgard continent. And who will be the ones to achieve it? Now, let's reveal the tournament rules and rewards.
But before that, the rewards for the viewers, for all the viewers and players in game, as long as we reach the final milestone of the live stream rewards, we'll be giving away up to 888 wager tokens, a whole lot of diamonds, and Zenny as well. So make sure you invite your guildmates, your friends, your party mates, your parents, your siblings, your neighbors, your grandparents. Get them all on the stream. Make sure that they get to enjoy the Odin Cup along with you, and we will be able to reach the milestone as quickly as possible, and everybody gets more and more rewards as well.
Exactly, and we will also give you the giveaway code in certain time, so make sure you stay with us from start to the end, because this is going to be an interesting today as well. We are going to see who's the top 4 guild, another top 4 guild that can advance to top 16 stage 0.
Yeah, like there's 8 guilds participating today. Home, Morocco One, Toy Factory, Only Fan. A lot of pretty strong guilds. They are playing today to try and make it to the round of 16. But let's take a look at how the other guilds have made it so far. And this is the entire process, you know. Over 500 guilds have tried to qualify for the Odin Cup through the major league to the crossover league. And after all of that, after 2 months of grueling fighting, grueling practices, and very intense matches so far, we are up to the top 32. And so far, we've eliminated 12 teams, which means that we are only left to find the last 4 teams to qualify for the top 16. And then from there on, we're going to play the top 4 and find out who will be the 4 guilds, the top 4 guilds who will be playing in the offline finals in Bangkok, Thailand, back in further on in October.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting since
Hmm.
this Odin Cup has already been 20 years since the last Odin Cup, and this is a very impressive event. And also we have also the tournament rewards for all guild members and all the participants that will receive a bountiful rewards as they join this Odin Cup.
Yeah. More importantly than everything else is the one and only limited Centaurus mount given away to the champion guild. Only 150 players will be getting that one of a kind mount. So
Mhm.
every guild is definitely giving it their all to try and win that prestigious award.
Yeah, not to mention another rewards as well, like the portrait frame, chat
Hmm.
bubble, and
Yeah.
also the champion title, which is
Oh
very
yeah.
prestigious for every single Ragnarok players across the
Definitely.
server.
Definitely. Everyone's going to be looking at that title and know that you are the strongest out of all the players, all the guilds in the game, and you are the number one. And
Mm-hmm.
not to mention the rewards for those who participate in each individual match of the Odin Cup as well. Plenty full of rewards. I know everybody is a little bit bored because there's no guild league going on because of this Odin Cup, but don't be too worried because
Mm-hmm.
the rewards for all the participants are great, and even if you're not participating, the reward of watching the Odin Cup is a great thing as well.
Mm-hmm. Like you can receive rewards from everywhere during Odin Cup, and we
Mhm.
are not that stingy to not giving you a
Oh yeah.
bountiful reward. So just make sure you increase our viewership to reach our milestone, which is 10,000, 20,000, and 30,000, and we will be very happy to spread the rewards to all of you guys.
Yep, yep, definitely. Can't wait for the games to start
Mm-hmm.
today. We have a lot of great matches that are going to happen today, and they're all fighting for this, Abigail. They're all fighting
Mm-hmm.
for this fantastic trophy.
No, it's very cute. I mean, like the
The
pouring,
pouring.
yeah, and dressed with a warrior suit, and oh my god, it's been a very long time since I saw the Odin Cup trophy.
Yep. And something that we actually never really stressed on is the championship rings themselves. They look
Mm-hmm.
really good, and everybody would definitely want to have them. But let's take a quick look at who have been playing the Odin Cup so far. We played through Division A, B, and C, and we have found out that the 12 teams moving on to the top 16. Now we are down to the final group of the round of 32, Group D, where we have
Mm-hmm.
8 guilds fighting out for the last 4 slots in the round of 16.
Exactly. Like we have Home versus Moroccan, and Toy Factory will versus OnlyFan, and the third match will be Radicals versus No Feature, and last Greedy Thailand versus Continent. I believe the first and the last match is these two matches that the viewers will be waiting for. What about what do you think?
Yeah, Home definitely one of the fan favorites to win the entire Odin Cup. They are very, very strong. They've got the likes of VVP, Mavis, Peking, and Zebro. Those are one of the very strongest players in the entire game. Not to, and like you said as well, Greedy Thailand against Continent, the last series of the day, is the closest we've seen all the guilds so far outside of Omakase going up against Sekoting. Greedy Thailand and Continent are a 50-50 in terms of odds right now. So
Mm-hmm.
anybody can win in that matchup. And of course, Home, everybody just wants to see Mavis and VVP make it to the round of 16 and potentially face up against the likes of Legends or Rise or Outlife 4 in the future. So these two matches definitely what you want to watch. And yeah, I can't wait for all of this to get started.
Yeah, and also I wonder if all of these matches will be more interesting than yesterday. Because
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we can't turn our eyes off from the fact that yesterday matches is pretty one-sided. Although I still found one or two thing that interesting to discuss
Mm-hmm.
with, like for example, the third match that we are cast up with zero.
Yeah.
But for today, I want to see a very stiff and intense game, not just one-sided. I need to explore more about the RO itself, like maybe one matches like Home and Morocco one is still a fan favorite. While I heard the rumor about the grand final supposed to be Home versus
Mhm.
Rise, but I will be looking forward for another guild that actually have their potential out
Oh
and
yeah,
shown in this competition.
definitely. Like Morok 1 might be the one to challenge them. Looking at their power, they're not too far behind, but because of their, the name of
Mhm.
Rise is like you hear legends of the past, you hear veterans who are competing, and just by that reputation alone, might have tilted the fans one way or the other. But looking at the power, they're actually not too far behind from the side of Morok One, who is the number one guild from Morok One. Of course, that's why they're called
Of
Morok
course.
One. And in terms of their division, they didn't do so well. They barely qualified to the round of 32 with at being at the 8th place of the crossover league. So
Uh-huh.
definitely in term just on paper they look like a tough matchup, but Morocco One definitely has some things up their sleeves.
Yeah, and I will look forward for it
Mhm.
because I want to know their composition as well during the first and the second game. Since it's best of three, I want to know if they can have a matchup. I mean, like an imbalanced matchup, not the
Mhm.
imbalanced one. But
Yep.
I would love to know like the introduction of these two guilds because we want to see as well the gap between these two guilds, right?
Yeah, definitely. Just from their top 5 players, they don't look that far behind comparing both these guilds. But when we look at the entire guild as a whole, we might see something completely different. But I believe this is going to be a close match as well, despite what the odds are showing in heavily in Home's favor. Definitely, I believe that Morag One will surprise a lot of people just by the strength that they're showing, and it might actually surprise Home as well because they are facing a tough adversary in the first round. And if they're not well prepared, if they underestimate their opponents, they might be in for a very rough ride.
Yeah, one example maybe the yesterday match between Solaria and RI Phoenix, which like they have the close gap. I mean,
Yep.
like that is not a big gap, but still, Solaria can overpower the RI Phoenix, which is very good because they play like, pretty disciplined and also they are very focused on an objective, which is very essential in this game zero.
Definitely, definitely. Let's take a look at the rules of what these guilds will be playing in to compete to find out who will be moving on to the round of 16. And it is the also familiar, basically, Guild League rules that we are very familiar with playing in, right? The rough objective is to get your opponent's HP down to 0 from 3000. There are multiple ways to get that, either by capturing and holding tablets, or killing opponent players, or killing minions and bosses as well. We're gonna watch a quick video to explain a little bit more about these rules in detail, so guys, check it out.
Guild League Rules, ROO Odin Cup. ROO's Odin Cup is centered around the in-game competition mode, Guild League. In this guild versus guild event, strategy and courage are essential to emerge victorious. The battlefield of a Guild League match is divided into the main field and the subfield. The goal is to dominate the main field by depleting the enemy guild's points to 0. The subfield can provide morale, which will grant guild members the main field buffs and guild skills. Methods to reduce the enemy guild's points in the main field. 1. Capture the sun, moon, and star tablets. 2. Defeating enemy adventurers. 3. Slaying boss and minions. Capturing tablets. There are 3 tablets on the main field. The capture of each tablet will be determined based on the number of members a guild has near this tablet. Once a tablet is captured, it will immediately deduct 50 points and then 10 points per 10 seconds from the enemy guild. Defeating adventurers. Each defeated enemy adventurer reduces the enemy guild's points by 1. Slaying boss and minions. For each match, boss and minions will spawn at 10 minutes and 15 minutes after the match begins. And slaying each boss deducts 500 points from the enemy guild. It is important to remember that the Guild League is not a stage for your personal show. It requires strategy, tactics, and team play. Valhalla is calling. To victory, adventurers!
Valhalla is calling to win, to get your victory, and to become a champion of this Odin Cup. And I wonder what kind of strategy these two guilds have prepared, because I want to see more strategies. I mean, like the rotation, the ideas of the execution, or maybe they try to do something cheeky, like something that bring element of surprise during the game, Zero.
Definitely, these are legends of the game. I mean, Home definitely has a lot of experience under their belt. They have been pretty much undefeated in their division. They're playing in this very familiar map. We see the minions spawning in multiple points of the map. They know where to get points. They know how to beat their opponents. They know how to take a lead and control momentum. But will they be able to push up the tempo as well as maintain discipline in their guild? Because so far they've not met any real resistance throughout their entire road to Odin Cup, and making it here, it will be a breath of fresh air for them, because they will be finally fighting against guilds of the same caliber. Will Home be able to defeat Morok 1 in this battlefield, or will Morok 1 prove to be too strong of an adversary? Game 1 of this entire day, the opening series of day number 4 of the run of 32, will be definitely an exciting one.
Yeah, exactly. And I also already saw a lot of supporters from Morocco One already gathered here, but I want to see more supporters from home as well. We can go chat with their hashtags, or maybe go Morocco One, or maybe home win or something like that. Maybe just give your support to these two guilds. I mean, like just give support to your favorite guilds. But I'm not really sure I will give my vote to which guild, but I'm pretty sure will be very interesting, because I want to see like a very intense. This is what I always hope since yesterday, but I also want to know more about the way of the commander, especially the color, if in during the war itself, how they push their strategy and how they push their opponents to a tough position.
Yeah, definitely. And if anyone can do that, that is definitely the Home. Home has is comprised of a lot of players who have been playing with each other for a very long time. This is not their first time working together. This is not their first time competing in such a high stakes match. So let's take a look at the management team, the core people, the core leaders behind both these guilds, as we can take a look at their power difference as well. Morok 1, 54 million, almost 55 million, while Home boasts of a 58 million power, one of the highest we've seen so far.
Yeah, one of the highest. And talking about the gap, the 4 million gap, for me it is not real problem, because we've seen like a 2 million gaps, or maybe if you reach the 6 million gap it will be a problem. But I think when you receive 4 million gaps is still bearable for you. And talking about the composition between the classes in each guild, I found it really interesting, because looks like a Baroque one relies on a paladin, like they have their 39 paladins.
That is a lot of paladins on the side of Morok 1, while Home has abundance of snipers as well. 35 snipers on their in their guild, so that is a lot of firepower, especially if these are very heavily powered snipers. They really pack a punch. In terms of other classes as well, they look pretty even. Both teams have 13 assassins. And Home does have slightly less biochemists for themselves, but they do have more support with minstrels and gypsies.
Yeah, from what I see on this composition, I believe these two guilds pretty balanced in front, middle, and back line. So I think that would be another mind games, or maybe need a little bit touch of strategies inside the game.
Definitely. They might not know this information in terms of what the opponent's guild's compositions are. So the first match definitely is going to be an eye opener for both these guilds to gather information on their opponents and form strategies around them, depending on what your opponent's composition is in the main and sub battlefield. So this information might be the first time they're hearing it, but the top 5 players from both these guilds definitely have been well researched on both sides. Morok 1, we have Fake Whale playing a paladin, Las Vegas, Alms, Ratu, as well as Abo completing their top 5, and they look very strong.
Yeah, that will be pretty strong. I mean, like the top one itself, the power reached almost 600k. It may not be the highest, but still pretty decent.
Yep.
Like it can reach the top five, alongside the top 32 kills in here. And if I'm not mistaken, the highest one supposed to be 609k power.
609k was the one we saw yesterday, I believe.
Yeah.
But it might be overpowered today by VBP, one of basically the highest powered assassin in the entire game right now.
Yeah, like 611k, and it's pretty balanced between the top five. Like I think the top one, top two, and the top three reached 600k power, while the top five and the top four almost reached 600. And it is pretty interesting since like they only have one paladin in their top five.
Yeah, but these two assassins will be definitely the strongest suit for the side of home. I have a funny story about Mavis. We were playing in Dimensional Drill a few days ago. I'm playing a biochemist, so I broke both his weapons, and he chased me down with his bare hands and killed me with auto attacks. So that is Mavis, guys. That is Mavis, and he's also with VVP as well as Peking, one of the three strongest players in the entire game right now. And we take a look at their entire management team as well. Aganaya, Shu, Kibo as their top three guild masters and vice guild masters. Meanwhile, we have Pank, Atalia, and Cute Jeans with the officers.
Yeah,
very strong.
I always find the Charisma Baby has a very cute nickname, like a cute teens or somewhat baby yesterday that I saw. Most of the time, I saw the Charisma Baby is like someone who are really cute.
Definitely. On this side though, Morok 1, their opponents, their adversaries, they're facing a very tough matchup, and we'll have to wait and see if their leaders are able to come up with a good strategy to deal with Hope, because it's not going to be easy. We're not going to kid them. It's not going to be an easy road to make it to the round of 16.
Exactly, and especially this for Morok 1, I've seen a lot of kills pretty struggling their way into top 16 because they suffer from a pretty big gap or maybe short gap, but they can't do anything about their communication or maybe a better strategy or maybe come up with a new idea how they can win the game. But I believe Morok 1 is as experienced as home, so I'm willing to see what will they do during the game.
Yeah, Morok 1 gathered the best players from Morok 1 to try and deal with home, but I think this is one of those matchups where it is going to come down to the wire. I mean, home might be taking it home very easily, but I think Morok 1 definitely will be putting up a fight for sure. And we'll have to wait and see if it is that case, or will home just sweep like we've seen yesterday.
Yeah, I believe that taking the early game objective is pretty essential for Morok 1 because they are the team who behind from home in terms of power, but if they can do well, especially reach the 3k morale first before home, I think it will be advantage for them, or at least they can get the same buff, because whenever your opponent receives the maximum buff before you, it will be win the game for yourself.
Definitely. And let's take a look at how this is going to go down, Abigail. Game 1 of this best of 3 about to start, ladies and gentlemen. Grab your popcorn, grab your drinks, head to the washroom right now. You don't have much time left before this banger of a match will begin to start. It is home going up against Morok 1, game number 1 of this best of 3 series. Liam, the guild leader for the side of Morok 1, will be facing off against Aganaya, who is leading side of home, and this is going to be one hell of a battle. Home pretty much uncontested, undefeated, unparalleled in terms of firepower so far. Will they meet their match against Morok 1?
Oh my god. Can you see the PvP power? Because the moment we saw the top 5 assets, and it's like 611, and now he's 628k power. Jesus.
He was holding back. He was holding back.
He's not turning back.
But now he's bringing everything he has to the main battlefield, and there are a lot of great players there in home outside of VBP as well. Mavis, Peking, you know, all these big names, Zybro, they are going to be packing a punch. And just speaking about Zybro here, he is one of the strongest snipers in the entire game in the side of home as well. And boy, oh boy, this is going to be a good match.
Yeah, and a very tough match for each guild because they have lots of paladins. They also have a very strong backlines, and they also have very good assassins. So I'm pretty sure this is going to be very exciting to watch. But I wonder what kind of rotation that these guilds will do. I want to know about the minimap as well, so I can have an idea about their rotation in the early game.
Oh, definitely. We've seen a lot of guilds, you know, really prioritize the moon tablet, making sure they get that position as quickly as possible. Let's see if either of these guilds will be doing the same. Morok 1 in the green, home on the orange will be the colors for all these 3 games. So definitely look out to see who will be contesting on each point, as we do only have 15 seconds left on the clock. Let's see where these guilds will start to contest.
Yeah, I believe they already prepared the strategy and done with the communication and commands. So this is the first game of Morok 1 versus Home.
Yep, and Home is starting off very, very powerful, very, very strong, going straight towards the this is the Sun tablet. It's going to be taken here by Morok 1. A couple of terminal wings will be dropped down, Oblivions as well, to try and force them out, but it will be a 2-tablet control here under the side of Home, as VBP has 6 kills already, 7 kills, and he's going straight for Ratu. He's not letting anything go. He wants to bring down this paladin, make sure he doesn't progress any further. Meanwhile, on the Sun tablet, we do see Home rotating in, dropping a lot of terminal wings on the back lines. They're falling down, and looks like Morok 1 will actually lose this tablet the moment it is able to be captured, and immediately the wipes do come in. Rotations are being called out. Morok 1 is avoiding this fight and going to rotate somewhere else, just giving up this location for the side of Home, and right now Home can react. Can they react quickly enough to the Star tablet being captured here on the side of Morok 1? The rotations are coming in. They do have the Moon tablet, which means that the rotations are going to be very, very quick to the other side. Can they make it in time? No, they will not. It will be a side tablet trade, and at least Morok 1 will hold on to 1 tablet of their own.
Yeah, this is very interesting. I believe Home in the early game, they want to get the map control, and they actually get it. Like they protect these 2 tablets at the early game, and Morok 1 only have 1, and Morok 1 came up with the idea to go to another side of the tablet, which is a Star. They get it, but a Home do it quickly retake to Sun tablet, and Morok 1 seems still have no any other idea except do a slow tempo and trying to slash their back.
Yeah, definitely probably waiting for their first morale buff to come in. Home is just about to get theirs, as they will trade the side tablets once again. This rotation, avoiding fights will not win you the game at the moment when you are behind 300 points right now, and your secondary battlefield isn't really matching up to what Home has to provide. They were gonna have to trade tablets over and over again, and when you are 1 tablet behind, you're just going to start bleeding points, as we see Morok 1 is going to abandon the Sun tablet and try and rotate in towards the other 2 tablets here. But Home looks like they have a foothold. They have a stronghold in the Moon tablet, and any rotations in through the middle will not work out for the side of Morok 1, as we do see a lot of respawns on the Moon spawn, but looks like their primary focus is actually on the Sun tablet themselves. So once again, a side tablet trade is not going to favor you for the side of Morok 1.
Yeah, and the rotation from Morok 1 is getting slower by the game continue, because, you know, Morok 1 tried to do a back and forth strategy from Star and Moon, I mean the Sun, and it's giving them a tough spot since the buff is already behind from Home. But Home itself, like, they pretty sure they can retake every single tablet. They just left 1 tablet to be taken to Morok 1, and it doesn't matter for them because they can retake it easily.
Definitely, with the power of VVP and Mavis, we did see a glimpse of them just hitting on the backlines. They do so much damage, and I like that they're both playing 2 different builds. VVP is playing the Soul Destroyer build, while Mavis is on the Grimtooth build. So well-balanced AoE damage and single target damage. We do see Mavis on a 45 kill streak already with his Grimtooth build, and he is definitely starting to hurt the side of Home. They're losing a lot in terms of kills. But if you look at the morale, both these guilds are actually very even. 4,000 on both sides. Home about to reach their first level 2 commander buff. And that is going to allow them to have a slight lead, but not for long, because Morok 1 is at least matching them in terms of tempo in the secondary battlefield.
Yeah, I can see that, because I wonder what happened actually in the second battlefield, because I saw that Morok 1 left behind 1000k morale at the end at the early game, but now they are pretty even, so there must be something work on the second battlefield. But Morok 1, after they got the very first buff on the 30k morale, they start to give a pressure back to Home.
Oh, definitely. This is much closer than what one would expect, especially if you just look at the odds. I mean, Home definitely still in the lead with a 600 point deficit at the moment, but it's not that far. We've seen worse outcomes, and Home is looking like they are actually mortal. They can bleed. Morok 1 definitely providing some resistance to the side of Home. They are not winning without any deaths. Home definitely is not underestimating and will not underestimate the side of Morok 1, because they look like they're pretty evenly matched in terms of firepower. But mobs are about to spawn. Terminal Wings drop down, making sure that they can get as many mobs as possible. And it looks like Morok 1 actually is getting most of the minions here, catching up in points. Only 600 point difference, not letting Home get too many of those minions. And that is the rotations. That's the movements coming in from the side of Morok 1 that might be able to make this a very close fight.
Yeah, from my perspective, Home becoming very aggressive in the middle of the game, because after Morok 1 tried their best to get an even spot with Home, Home best trying to change their strategies, change their rotation very quick, and send their backups everywhere, and they're trying to dominate the map control, and it's actually happened. And Morok 1 once again struggled a lot in here.
Yep, definitely. They did force a lot of rotations from the side of Home, moving towards the way of the Sun Tablet, which allows them to actually capture the Star Tablet. So in terms of movements, they are actually forcing Morok 1 to split up, to play in, different places, and looks like they will lose 2 points. They try and rotate in towards the Star Tablet. Even with the Windwalk and the map control that they have, they were not able to reach in time, and they will lose the Star Tablet and might lose the Sun Tablet as well, as the rotations are too late to come in. Morok 1, with their movements, are able to keep Home at their toes despite that 800 point difference right now. That's mostly in terms of kills, because Morok 1 has been on point with the movements across the map so far.
Well, seriously, I love the idea about how Morok 1 trying to get into the top spot, but they escalate every single step very quick with it, because, every time you jump into Sun and to the Star, it's actually give you a long road. You need to do it back and forth, and you need to be very careful about the momentum during the game every single time, because whenever Home have a chance to be pushed back, they will abuse it, and that's basically what I saw from what Morok 1 doing this time.
If the movements were on point, I think they have been really forcing Home to move around a lot, pressing the issue quite a bit. But unfortunately, the power of Home is just very, very strong, and you can't. If the moment your strategy gets read out here, you're going to be just overpowered. There are a lot of high-powered snipers, like we said earlier on in the stream. There's a lot of high-powered snipers here on the side of Home, and in terms of kills, they are just losing out. Home is going to reach the final tier of the morale buff already, while Morok 1 just barely gotten the second tier of the movement speed buff for themselves. So 1,000 point lead right now for the side of Morok 1, for the side of Home, as Morok 1 is still controlling all 3 tablets. They're still being able to win these small skirmishes. Morok 1 has been on point in terms of movement so far, but they need something else. They need to be able to stop the tempo, they stop the aggression coming from the side of Home. Because every time they capture one tablet, they will lose it immediately. They need some way to stall them out, to stop them from rotating in, recapturing those points. Because right now, they are just bleeding out.
Yeah, and also not to mention home already reached the maximum buff, which is very make them strong this time. And Morocco One needs to come up with another idea how to surpass this game. Maybe they get the star tablet, but it's still not enough because I can see on the second battlefield looks like Morocco One slowly dying, like the 6,000, 6K compared to 10K. It is not a good idea for Morocco One to win this game.
Yeah, definitely VVP on a roll, 90 kills, almost getting to 100 kills on him. And I think that is where the deficit does come from. A lot of high-powered players here from the side of home are getting a lot of kills and not getting punished. Moonlight Flower Cut on VVP allows him to rotate across the map very, very quickly. And just being an assassin, you know how mobile's assassins are with the backslide, with the multiple movement speed and hiding skills, allows him to be everywhere, anywhere at once. And that is putting a lot of pressure on the side of Morocco One. As you look at VVP, is completely wrecking the backline of Morocco One. There's no answer for him. He's just getting any form of kills that he wants. And along with Mavis as well, these two powerhouses from the side of home are just dismantling the backline defense from the side of Morocco One. And Morocco One doesn't seem like they have any form of answer to it. VVP getting to 100 kills. He's basically two-tapping paladins on this assassin, and they have complete map control. Our Baron is about to spawn. Will this matter if Morocco One gets it? Not really, especially with this point deficit right now. 1,400 point lead right now from the side of home. And it's going to go down very quickly. Looking at the position of where home is, they have their snipers already in position, waiting for the spawn. And the moment it goes up, it will surely go down in less than a minute.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter for home. They just let the Morocco One capture these moon tablet because they are trying to hunting down every single player from Morocco One, and Morocco One still cannot get their way back into the game because they lack of buff and they also lack of power, and the point is slowly dying from Morocco One. 1,600 compared to almost 400. It is not a good position for Morocco One.
Oh, definitely. But Morocco One definitely not giving up. They did throw a lot of statue skills on towards the Owl Baron. They almost wiped out home, in fact. Before Mavis and VPP was able to rotate in, they were wiping home out of their position. But at this point, when the rotations do come in from the two powerhouses of the side of home, they will definitely secure the victory and they will win game number 1 of this best of 3 series.
Yeah, but I still want to give my kudos to Morocco One. Despite their power gap to home, they're still trying to do their best. And also, I also want to give one kudos again to Morocco One for their good trade during the game, because you can see the way they do a long rotation. And to be honest, from my perspective, it is a really risky strategy because any people from home from Moon Tablet can cut the rotation, but they still doing it pretty well. And at the end of the game, they can capture 3 tablets, which is very impossible from the matches that we saw in the last 3 days. Still, Morocco One, I think this is one of the best matches I've seen so far in Odin Cup Top 32.
Definitely not a very. The points do look one-sided, but Morocco One was holding off home for a good part of the game. They were not letting home get a landslide of a victory. They were forcing home to rotate around a lot, forcing them to move across the map. Hopefully they find some strategy against trying to beat Mavis and VVP, who's both of them together with as with peaking as well, we're getting too many kills. So if they're able to stop that weakness in their whole lineup and prevent their top killers from the side of home to reduce the amount of kills, we might find ourselves in a much closer series for sure.
Yeah, and I think the Moon Tablet can be essential for these 2 guilds because whenever this one guild capture 2 tablets, which is one of it is a moon, basically they get the early game momentum, and the other one needs to work harder to get another tablet. And maybe we can also see the stats of from the first game because it's gotta be interesting to discuss.
Yeah, definitely. If you look at the kills, it looks like Morocco One once again the firepower of VVP and Mavis alone accounted to 300 kills that was different between Morocco One and home. And if you're able to stop that, if you're able to stop your squishy targets from dying and reduce the impact that VVP and Mavis brings to the field, this will be much closer. Morale wise, they're not too far apart. It wasn't a
Yeah.
very huge landslide on the side of home. And if you look at the minions and bosses, were actually very close on both sides in the secondary
Yeah.
battlefield. And the minions on the main battlefield itself was mostly controlled by Morok 1, which allowed them to keep up in pace early on into the game.
But I believe the thing that Morg One need to focus more is with the PvP side, because look at these
Oh
stats,
yeah.
like their objective is pretty good, although they have a very slow start at the
Mhm.
early game, but they manage to trying to get even with the home side, and it's really interesting to watch. But at the end of the game, I believe the way home do their strategy pretty aggressively, crashing the Morok One backlines is also very interesting to watch. And
Definitely.
Morok One maybe need to watch or maybe pay more details in their backline.
Oh, definitely. That was definitely the weak link here for the side of Morocco. And if they're able to spot that out and fix that, if you look here, secondary battlefield, minions were fully controlled here for the side of Morocco 1. They got more minions from the side of home, mainly losing out in kills, but they were able to go toe to toe, not lose out too much against home. They were pretty much able to catch up at one point in terms of the in terms of the morale points, and allowed their main battlefield to be able to at least have a fighting chance. So kudos to Morocco One. I definitely see a way they are able to force this to game number 3 if they're able
Yeah.
to adapt to the strategy that home is running with. And definitely, I hope definitely to see that as well.
Yeah, and also I want to mention about how Morocco One track the home players rotation,
Mm-hmm.
and it consistent they doing it consistently during
Yeah.
the first
Oh yeah.
game, and actually it's pretty tiring for home, but still home came up with another idea, like we don't want to do another long rotation or maybe back and forth to every single tablet, so why don't we just crash their backlines?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. That I definitely agree with you, Abigail, there. In terms of the rotations, they did get tired of what Morocco
Mm-hmm.
was doing for one point and just decided to strong arm them into not being able to get any tablets after that. And one thing of note as well that I noticed from the side of home is that despite them losing the side tablets, they always keep 10 players. They always keep 10 players on the moon tablet, making sure they never lose that point. So
Yeah.
if Morok 1 is able to spot that out, that there is this sort of composition split, they might be able to exploit that with certain strategies.
Yeah, maybe trying to copy the early game phase of home might be good for Morok One, because for my perspective, the Moon tablet is the core of the momentum of the early game. Because
Mhm.
whenever you can drop your players on two tablets, like maybe the Star and the Moon, or maybe the Sun and the Moon, basically you push your opponent to be slowly dying in the early game, and you can get the advantage to get the map control.
Yep. Let's see. Let's take a look at the MVP of
Yeah,
game number 1 of this best
of
of
course,
3
PvP.
series. Of course, it's going to
Of
be
course.
VVP. Highest powered player, not just assassin, but highest powered player in the entire game right now. 628,000 was where we saw him at in that game. And I believe he can definitely go higher than that if he wants to, but definitely on his PvP gear, that is the highest that he's able to get. 112 kills, 175 assists, and 76 million damage being dealt here by VVP, and he was just a menace that Morak 1 was not able to deal with.
Or maybe Morok One can set up a trap for strong players like a VVP, or maybe the top five player from home to win this game. Because I don't see anything wrong with their rotation, with their call, with how they try to catch up with home during the first game.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe on the second game, they need to be more focused on their backlines, or maybe set up a trap to make
Oh
sure
yeah.
their
Mm-hmm.
their backline still very safe.
Yeah, definitely. Like you said, like setting up a trap to catch out, Mavis or PvP rotating to the backline is definitely something that the side of Morok One can consider doing. You don't really need too many players for that as well. Just a couple of paladins and some way to keep him there will be able to force him to be very ineffective. And let's see if Morok One have the tech and have the people to do that. Mavis and PvP, both of them have to be dealt with in order for Morok 1 to stand a chance to fight against Home. But if not, then we'll be seeing Home move on to the round of 16 with a very easy 2-0 victory.
Yeah, because from Morok 1, I can see the potential of T-skills to creating the space from their disadvantages. I mean, like maybe they get the slow start at the early game, but still they can create this space to try to catch up with their opponent, which is a very good thing. Because the way you adapt, the way you read your opponents, the way you read the situation and give a reaction to it with your new strategy or maybe improvise during the game is a very essential. I mean, like that's the game sense that not every single guild can have.
Yeah, definitely, and yeah, it's been a battle of of strength, of power so far, and strategy we do see come in play, especially in this game. Despite Morok 1 losing their backline so easily, they were able to hold on at various points of the game. So if Morok 1 is able to rally their strengths, rally their players together, and find different ways to deal with Mavis as well as DVP, Morok 1 will be definitely able to force this into a game number 3 because they are as evenly matched as you can ask for. And there are a lot of guilds that cannot take this many points away from Home. And Morok 1 able to get, 700, 800 points away from Home, despite losing out that much members earlier on. Definitely shows that they do have what it takes, and they just need to adjust a little bit to what they are facing.
Exactly, I totally agree with that because I don't see any problem with the communication or maybe their flow of command because their rotation is pretty good, well executed. Although for me, it's the long rotation strategy is pretty risky, but still they manage to maintain it. Like they know how to make that strategy work well with their playstyle. Actually, this space that they created during the game to catch up with Home, for me, that's one of the most beautiful things in first game.
Yeah, they definitely did not give up. They tried everything they had in their power, in their books of strategies to try and play against Home. And I believe, after getting that information from game number 1, with a little bit of adjustments, they definitely can make this a much closer fight. And even around the Owl Baron fight, we did see, Home was wiped out at one point from the side of Morok 1. They were able to push them out and force Mavis and VVP and the rest of the high power players from the side of Home to rotate over to secure the Owl Baron. So if they're able to stop the rotations, if they're able to slow them down, they might have been able to get the Baron for themselves and make it a much closer fight. So definitely a very interesting match to watch so far. Even game number 1 has shown a lot of potential for the side of Morok 1. And definitely can't wait to see in game number 2 what sort of adjustments they'll make to make this a much better fight.
Yeah, and I love the way Morok 1 tried to hold their tablets as strong as they could. And from my perspective and from what I noticed, Home can only hold 2 tablets at the same time. It's pretty rare to see them capture 3 tablets, and I don't think it's a good idea for them since they also have a very squishy backline. And they need to work on their assassin as well. So I don't think capturing 3 tablets at the same time will be good for Home, and it's going to be maybe the advantage for Morok 1 to work with.
Yeah, definitely. Being able to spread out the numbers from the side of Home is something definitely that Morok 1 should and is able to take advantage of. So let's see if game number 2. We might see that something to force more out of Home because they did force Home to rotate around a lot, force them to play in locations, in positions where they don't want to be, and with a little bit more of a push, with a bit more of a ambushing strategy that they might be able to come up with, they might be able to take this game.
Yeah, and also Morocco might be need to pay a little bit more attention to the middle game phase because from what I saw in the first game, Home tried to change their tempo in the middle of the game pretty quick. Like they do a very slow start and they try to focus on the objective, but in the middle game they try to be more aggressive, and this aggressiveness is not be is couldn't be handled by Morocco, which is very interesting to watch too.
Yeah. Perhaps they need to utilize their high wizards more. We did see both these heroes, they do have a decent amount of high wizards, and the crowd control that these wizards can bring is very strong. There are multiple ways to tech a high wizard to play in different ways. So a lot of players, they like to go for more of a damage type build on the high wizards, whether it's with gravitational field or magic crasher or meteor builds. So there are a lot of different ways, especially with the new sigils, to be able to slow down your opponent very significantly. With Quagmire, with Lord Vermilion, with Frost Nova, a lot of slows, a lot of crowd control that these wizards can bring, and maybe a slight different change in tech might be able to help out might be able to help out Morok 1 in the next game, because what they were mainly lacking in is being able to control the top players from the side of Home to be able to wreck their backline. So maybe a slight shift in that way as well might be able to tip the scales in Morok 1's advantage.
Yeah, and talking about Home, I mean, like we already talked a lot about what Morocco can do on the second game to catch up with Home, but I believe Home needs to be a little bit careful with tempo, because whenever Home is lured by the Morocco 1 tempo, it's going to be the end for them, but gladly on the first game, although they'll a little bit get lured by the Morocco 1 tempo, they try to reset, and the recovery actually successful, and they get the control of the game.
Yeah, I like that you brought this point out, right? They were playing Morocco 1's game for a bit, and that's where we saw, the gap actually reduced, the gap closed in, and Morocco 1 was able to catch up a little bit in points. And when Home recognized that, when Home realized that, hey, we should stop playing their game, we should play our game, that's when the game just finished. It just ended there for the side of Morocco 1, because if Home is able to stand their ground, if Home is able to continue forcing their strength, Morocco 1, as best as they try to prepare the strategy with, I mean, Home is just way too strong in terms of raw firepower.
Yeah, but we will love to see what will happen in the second game, as the second game also ready. So guys, give your support to Home, give your support to Morocco 1, and we will see who's gonna advance to the top 16, or maybe will we see the third game.
Yeah, game number 2 here in this best of 3 series, the opening series of day number 4 of the Odin Cup Top 32. Morocco 1 back against the wall, against Home, one of the best skills, one of the favorites to win the entire Odin Cup here. Game 1 was won handily there by Home, but Morocco 1 definitely showed that they were able to outsmart Home in certain parts of the game, and let's see if they're able to do it once again in game number 2.
Yeah, 3 minutes preparation. This is a very important time for Morocco 1 to set up their strategies, or especially in the early game. They need to take the early map control to push Home, so they can bring the tempo, they can set up the tempo first before Home started to wreck the data side.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe something that Morocco 1 can do is put more members in towards Moon, start pressuring Moon, so that therefore the side of Home is forced to rotate more members there, forced to commit more members to try and hold off that very important Moon tablet position, and allow Morocco 1 to have more freedom in rotating across the map. Secondary battlefield, they look pretty close, despite towards the end it was 8,000 to 11,000 point difference, but it wasn't as one-sided as we've seen in other games. It wasn't just a complete landslide. Both sides were able to keep up in terms of kills and points, and even in minion kills, we did see Morocco 1 being able to get more of the objectives on the map. So yeah, definitely a lot of changes that they can do. to make this much closer than it was in the first game, but it was as close as one guild can be against someone like home.
Well, at least we all agree that Mork 1 has the potential to fight back home. Maybe better strategies will help them despite their gap.
Yeah. Let's see if any changes will be made here from the side, from both sides, in fact. Will home be able to hold off the secondary battlefield better than they did in the first game? Or will Morok 1 switch it up, maybe force a little bit more, and be able to win the secondary battlefield, which is going to be a huge morale boost towards the main battlefield, not to mention giving them those buffs as well.
By the way, this is an off topic. I saw several comments about the way I blink my eyes. I'm sorry. I'm just a professional blinker. So my because my eye type is a dry eye, so I need to blink as many as possible to maintain the the moisture of my eyes. So I'm sorry.
No worries there. People are just having fun in the chat. We do see a lot of you guys watching the stream right now, over 1,000 in the English stream. We need more though. We need more of you guys down in the stream supporting both these guilds. Remember, we do have the milestone giveaways as long as we reach 10,000, 20,000, and 30,000 viewers. So get everyone in, get everybody you know in to support the Odin Cup. We're in game number 2 of this best of 3 series. Morok 1 going up against home. It is a 1-0 lead right now for the side of home, but Morok 1 definitely has what it takes to force this to game number 3.
Exactly, and I would love to give my blink power plus 50% blink power to Morok 1. Let's go, Morok 1! Make this game interesting to watch, as we only have 15 seconds left to start the second game. I wonder what will Morok 1 do.
Home is putting the same amount of members on towards the moon tablet, making sure that they capture it as quickly as possible and control the shortest rotation point across the map. They have put around 15 players here. And it looks like Morok 1 will be more concerned about capturing the Sun Tablet once again. Morok 1 is being forced out. Terminal Wings being dropped at the corner. And they look like they want to try and contest this. A lot of Terminal Wings being committed here to try and capture 1 point. 10 kills already from Mavis from the Terminal Wings alone. And they're actually able to force out Morok 1 straight out of the tablet. And the rotations are being called right now for Morok 1 already. Get the hell out of Sun. Move to Star Tablet and try and trade the best they can. But look at what home is already doing. Home is already pre-planning the rotations that they're going to face, and they're already putting their members in towards the Star Tablet.
Yeah, but you can see the morale between these two guilds is pretty even. The gap is not really that big, so Morok 1 might have the chance to get the map control over the secondary battlefield. But on the other side, I think home becoming a little bit more aggressive in this early game as they're trying to capture 3 tablets, which is very interesting to watch because this did not happen on the first game.
Yeah, definitely. They were trying to trade the side tablets, but this time they have completely read Morok 1's strategy by the book. Terminal Wings completely wiping out Morok 1 from this position, and it will be home getting complete control on all 3 tablets. We do see Peking leading the charge there, being able to get a lot of kills and forcing Morok 1 out of the map. All 3 tablets being controlled right now from the side of home, and they are in a good lead so far. 300-point lead already this early on into the game.
Yeah, and they cut the rotation from Morok 1.
Yeah.
They push Morok 1 to not giving any space to them as well, and it's really good idea from home as well as the secondary battlefield. I believe that home actually get the map control itself, like they can get the control in 2 battlefield, and I wonder if Morok 1 will come with another idea how to win this game, because I mean, like, this is very winnable for Morok 1. There's still a chance for them to win this game.
Yeah, definitely, but whatever they planned opening this matchup completely cannot be used right now, because home has been able to read it perfectly. VVP on a 40 kill streak already. He is not targeting the squishy targets. He's targeting paladins, which allows the rest of his guild to be able to play more freely. We do see Morok 1 try and mass their numbers over here in the Sun Tablet, but where Mavis is and where VVP is where you do not want to attack it. These two players alone will be able to force out your entire guild as VVP gets a 45 kill streak. Frozen World dropped on towards the back lines. That is a lot of kills. Open to be taken here. Terminal Wings drop towards the back lines. Good night, Morocco 1. Goodbye, as they're going to be wiped out here. And they are going to have to try something else. Home looks like they are going to give up the Sun Tablet though, rotating back somewhere else safer. Maybe wait for the neutral point lock before relocking once again. But looks like they did call a retreat from the Sun Tablet and they might try something else.
Yeah, Home changed their tempo and actually is pretty effective because they can capture the 3 tablets at the same time. And also they're not giving any space to Morocco 1, which is very put Morocco 1 in a very top spot as well. Morocco 1 cannot give any damage to Home as maybe they have the same buff, but it's still not enough to win this game.
Yeah, secondary battlefield doing very well here for Morocco 1, able to go toe-to-toe with Home right now. And both sides will be getting their level 2 buffs very, very soon. Morocco 1 trying to contest the Sun Tablet, force some rotation ins from Home, and then make the real target the Star Tablet. And actually trying to pressure on towards the Moon Tablet as well. So in terms of movement right now, Morocco 1 seems to have found an opening to start forcing these rotations across the map. They will be able to capture the Star Tablet, it seems. Yes, they will. And Home was just a little bit too late to the party.
Well, I think it is not too late because I can see the rotation to Star Tablet is already on rally and they started the fight. But still, I believe like the Home still pretty focused on the killing every single player from Morocco 1.
Oh yeah, they're pretty confident that they just need to kill 3,000 players from their opponent's side and they will win just by that alone. Playing less objectively, a little bit slower after the hot start that that Home had. But they're still keeping a very healthy lead, a 1,000 point lead right now going towards the way of Home as they reach their secondary commander buff, getting the movement speed along with the damage reduction. Morocco 1 about to reach that point as well, as we will have the minion spawning in about 5 seconds. Morocco 1 getting complete control on this minion spawn.
Yeah.
And once again, the superior map movement coming from the side of Morocco 1 might be able to get them a couple of more points, but looks like, oh, the rotations from Home just made it just in time. Terminal Wings completely wiping out all 3 minion spawns, and it will be Home getting the bulk of the points in terms of minions. Doing a much better job in securing these objectives is Home in game number 2.
Yeah, and not to mention VVP is still unstoppable in this time with 70 kills more, and I'm still very looking for more kills from Morocco 1, and Morocco 1 is in not a good state because they barely have the space to create a momentum. Maybe they can take the stars, but look at the other tablets, like Home still trying to make your Morocco 1 have no idea how to win this game.
Yeah, look at what they're trying to do. They're trying to lock VVP in with Gloria Domini, trying to root him as long as possible, slow down the rotations that he can do, but there's not enough follow-up damage to really force the issue here. Morocco 1 able to get the Star Tablet and actually pressuring the Moon Tablet as well. Home might have spent too much time over at this side and might be forced to rotate over, but the relock will come in from the side of Home, which is bad news here for the side of Morocco 1, as they will try and capture the Sun Tablet after this. But that also means that Home is able to rotate freely, knowing that their Moon Tablet will not be pressured for another 30 seconds.
Yeah, and the objective from Home is trying to keep their feet on as strong as possible and try to make Morocco 1 push to the corner, so they cannot get any space to create another momentum. But as can you see, the spread of the players from Morocco 1 is pretty interesting as well, because it started to not really organize, like not like the first game.
Yeah, definitely. You definitely see that just from the mini-map alone. You see Home getting into positions to defend multiple places of the map, while Morocco 1 is very spread out. They're trying to attack on multiple corners. But when you're spread out that way, and when you have your opponents as strong as Mavis or VVP, or even peaking, that is not the way you want to play. You need that strength in numbers. You need the number advantage. You need to control VVP, who is absolutely on a roll right now, going for more backline kills. And without the numbers that you, without the safety numbers that you'll find, that is going to be tough. Vic Will gets caught out with within 10 players. He's trying to do his best, trying to slow them down, but he will fall in the end. The top player from the side of Morocco 1 gets wailed down from the side of home, and that is not boding well here for the side of Morocco 1 as they are down to only 700 points of health left remaining in this game.
I can tell home actually really do a good react or maybe a good read to Morocco 1 as Morocco 1 trying to do a better rotation. They always got it before Morocco 1 reached their objective, and this is very interesting because it doesn't give any space to Morocco 1, and home keep pushing Morocco 1 to the corner, so they have to come up with another idea, and home basically trying to just cut every single idea that Morocco 1 have.
VVP up to 100 kills already on this monster of an assassin. No one has been able to deal with him. No one has been able to stop his tempo. And it is looking really rough right now for the side of Morocco 1 as they're trying to capture multiple tablets. They're not really succeeding in it. Ratu stuck in the middle of everybody. He's being wailed down there by Seaton. And little do they know that they are slowly starting to bleed out. 1 minute left before the Owl Baron spawn, but the game looks like it will end before that point, as there is just no answer for the strength that is VVP, that is Mavis. There's everybody else here from the side of home as they will lose and not be able to capture the Sun Tablet for themselves. Only the Star Tablet left remaining here for the side of Morocco 1, and they are losing points very, very quickly.
Yeah, very, very quick. Although they try to catch up with the morale, but it's still not enough because what happened in the main battlefield is basically a massacre from home to Morocco 1. Morocco 1 barely lay more damage to home itself. Maybe they can try to capture Star Tablet, which is maybe the most comfort place for Morocco 1, but it's still not helping.
Yeah, definitely not helping here. Only 300 points left remaining of health here for the side of Morocco 1. Our Baron is about to spawn, but at this point, it is too little too late from the Morocco 1 side, as it is an impossible mountain to climb at this point. 2,500 points right now for the side of home, while only Morocco 1 holding less than 300. The moment the minions spawn, the game will be over unless Morocco 1 can come out with some miracle. They do have the position around the Owl Baron, but will it be enough? I mean, the terminal wings will be dropped down, and that should be it, ladies and gentlemen. That should be home being able to take this best of 3 series in a 2-0 sweep. And there is nothing that Morocco 1 can do except bow down, because home will be moving on to the top 16
home number 1
after Ragnarok Online Origin Odin Cup.
Yeah, congratulations to home who already advanced to top 16, and good game well played to Morocco 1 for this interesting first match on the day 4 of top.
Grabe sila Kim Nana MP Game plus JP, kayo lang ata makakapigil dyan. Hindi, wala naman natang kunti lang kills ni Peking.
I love the way
hindi ko masyado nakikita speaking.
Every single Morocco 1 player to the corner, so they
Kim Nana
have
malakas.
time to recover or maybe do a reset, so they can try
so
to
sad Morocco 1 on
that,
first stage of 32 they meet the final boss of ROO. Yeah, that's so sad lah.
In the top spot,
I think they have chance to get
the whole game, and I believe this is not very happy moment for them, but I can see they're still trying their best. I mean, like, they try to spread, they try every single thing that they could.
Nice
but
try.
Still, it's still not enough.
Very one-sided.
Home was just way too good with the rotations, with game 2 reading the strategy and responding appropriately. Got them the early lead, the fight, the best efforts from the secondary battlefield. They could not do much about it. Let's take a look at the match stats to see how close of this game was actually was for parts of the game, especially in the secondary battlefield. But the kills do show the main story.
101 kills, 700 kills.
Kill difference. As well as the minions this time. Morocco 1 was not able to control the map as well as they did, and it all came down from the first capture, the first tablet exchange. Morocco 1 was not able to capture and trade one of the side tablets, and that lost them a lot of momentum.
Yeah, and I love the way home spread their players to every single tablet, and at the early game they did the same thing what what they did in the first game. They captured 2 tablets, which is Star and Moon. And after they make sure no one can retake these 2 tablets, they started to give another players to the Sun tablet, and it's actually pretty effective because that's the moment when Morok One actually want to move to the Star tablet, and they took the advantage of it.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a very good timing.
That timing was absolutely perfect. Completely stalled out Morok 1, gave them no chance in game number 2. Let's take a look at the secondary battlefield stats, where, you know, Morok 1 actually did a lot better in keeping up throughout pretty much almost the entire secondary battlefield. And they were able to keep up in terms of morale and the buffs, and get 2 minions. And if you look at 2 bosses and 177 minions for themselves, the kills obviously did go towards the way of home. But the job was done here for Morok 1. Keep close in morale and get to the maximum buffs and then get out of the map. 8,000 morale gotten from them, and then they get out of the map. That is a very common strategy we do see in the secondary battlefields, where you get the objectives and then you hope for the best in the main battlefield. And I think the secondary battlefield for Morok 1 did absolutely their best they could, and they definitely was able to help out in the main battlefield. Unfortunately, it was just home overpowering Morok 1 in the main battlefield.
Yeah, especially home, basically, from my perspective, they only did a very effortless strategy. They, at the first game, they tried to cut the rotation from Morok 1, and they started to get lured by the rotation of Morok 1, and made them very tiring during the first game. But the second game, they decided to not follow the tempo. They decided to create the tempo, and Morok 1 fall for it.
Yeah, definitely. They played their own game throughout the way, and that's shown in the bigger difference in game number 2. Not falling for their opponent's mind games, not falling for their opponent's strategy, and instead playing their own game. Let's take a look at the MVP of game number 2, and once again, it is VVP.
Yeah.
Of course.
Expected
is there any doubt at this moment? This man was targeting paladins. He was killing paladins. Something unheard of in the Odin Cup so
Crazy
far.
damage.
And he has been a complete powerhouse in this game, and he's really just doing all the work right now.
Yeah, VVP. Basically, on these 2 games, he just tried to crash his way into Morok 1's positioning, and home basically trying to not giving any space. Yeah, I believe that's the very best description from what home did to Morok 1.
Oh yeah, definitely. Wow, what a game! What a game that both these guilds have been able to show.
GG. Good game, good game. Jope muna tayo. Jope. Di kailangan ng Pristya. Ano yan? Crit, damage, di kailangan. Ito kailangan ko. In this one. Yeah, this one. And this one. Naku pa, walang tao. Ito pala. Uy. Naglalaban. $3K. Grabe nga, iyon. Okay. Surrender. I see. Next on Fun Toy Factory. Medyo mahali na oh. Number 1. Let's go. Jope ng jope. Walang tao ah. Oops.
Puro healer.
Ano yan? Anong laro yan? Heroes of New World ah.
It's ON.
Nice. Boy pa pala tong larong to.
Panalo kayo nila Purpa.
Oo, kanina.
Eh,
Binisikan ni Pupa.
Carry.
Nare-realize ko nahihirapan pala ako maglaro kasi nakaano ako 75%
Ang 75%.
keyboard. Wala akong F1. Wala akong function keys. Kailangan pa pindutin yung function.
Kahit sino. Wala. Go. Ayan na. Ayan na. Wala na akong assist dito eh. Ano pala si Kenzo? Ba't di na active?
Sa ano? Sa labas? Sa galaan? Pilot na yung account sa akin. Di pa nga nagko-combat time to. Alam yan.
May isang atin pa pala ako sa T1. Hindi ko alam kung anong element.
Pwedeng water. Parang mas
Ay,
okay
water.
drop sa water. Oo, kaysa sa earth.
Mamaya na lang. Wala ata sa sugar. Hi JP, how are you? I'm good. Thank you. I'm fine, bro. Just assisting lang. Nothing to do.
Meron na nga dito yung tawag nga dun sa Dota, yung main go tsaka
Tango?
yung verify.
Ha?
Verify. Yung sa Dota na
Yung instant HP, tsaka ano?
Oo. Ako na din.
So JP is pwede to play ROO? No bro. He don't like the graphics lah. I also don't like the graphics at first, but it's getting good. My eyes is getting too used to it. Sir JP, are you join Odin Cup? Nope, bro. Our guild is not strong enough, bro, to join Odin Cup. Puro support pala tong yung ka lang napansin.
DPS.
Ano palang ginagawa?
Puro pala ano
Taga-heal.
to ah.
Puro
Support.
taga-heal.
Ano palang ginagawa ninyo?
Jope.
Walang talaga yung siyatik. Ang hindi na talaga yun. Birthday ko, yung birthday na sa tipa kasi pumunta yung tipa sa dati. Birthday niya.
Mr. JP, I'm gonna go back now. I don't like. See ya, Mr. JP. Alright, see you, bro. So I can survive. Ako lang pala DPS dito. Ah nga. Naubos yung oras. Kunin to. MVP. Iloko nagamit yung berry. Right sa BBDB. Coming soon. 8 minutes pa yung ano. BK. No. Yan. Ay. Ano to? Ocean Store. Abyss. Yan. Emoji ang putik. Saan ba yung ano? Abyss. We're dead na. Pero wala dito. And it wait lang full eh. Sino ba pwede? Umalis.
Itong Arian Castro, si ano to, no?
Ayan, si Hihi. Sino ba Hihi?
Si ano? Si Arian, parang yan yata yung
Size
Scandal.
champ. Si Hihi.
Yes, yung
Ano ba yung kapas? Greedy.
Wow, mamaya.
Jope daw muna. Continent kayo?
nag-greedy ako.
Nag-greedy ata ako.
Ako rin greedy.
Continent ako eh. Continent
Ako.
din ako.
Talo ka na.
Ayun, greedy.
Uy. Malakas yung
Medyo
chaos.
pumantay tayo sa greedy eh. Nung nakalaban natin yung greedy. Nag-close din tayo.
Ayun nga.
Oo. Sa greedy
Malakas
kasi
yung chaos eh. Pero yung chaos lang ata yung malakas dito.
Oo. Chaos na malakas dyan.
Yan yung ano, di ba? Sino nga yung ano nga IGN nun before?
Ashtigan.
Oh,
Si
yun.
Ashtigan.
Siya Asdigan.
Oo, yan. Nag-change name lang.
Sino si... Ay, kala ko yun yung ano.
Si
Magtago lang.
Chaos. Yan.
Asdigan na. Siya na pala si Asdigan.
Si Chaos Kaki. AKA Ashtigan. Ano to si Hihi? Hihi. Kick ko na lang muna to. Di ko kilala.
Sino
Or
si
siya,
Asdigan? Ako.
or siya yun si ano, si Aryan. Aryan Castro.
Si Arian Castro, si Scandal yan.
Oo nga. At kilala mo. Inustock mo.
Kanina. Hindi. Kanina pa na ano yan eh.
Sino sa inyo?
Sige ako na lang.
Jupe mo na, Jupe.
Shoutout sa 10 viewers.
Yan. Game.
Wait lang. Magpapalit lang ako ng ano.
Hindi, okay lang yan. Okay, mas maganda yung ano. Mabilis matapos.
Ako na, na-swap. Yawa.
Naka-AA build ako. Abot ako. Adi.
Sino kalaro mo, ano? Baka Zuma?
Ah?
Upa.
Pupa?
Wala na si Pupa.
Na.
Nag-TY siya kanina.
Dito pa sa Discord si Pupa eh. Nagsasalita.
Hindi na.
Happy pa.
Ayun. Pure F2P yung ano.
Utang itaat.
Yung account.
Zero rebate.
Zero
Pati yung 55. Wala.
Annyeong!
Yan na si Quezon.
Ay, gago. Kala ko si Upaw.
Ano naman kaitlogan yan, baka suma.
Heroes of New Worlds.
Ay, gago ka lang ba? Ano na yan? Tapos na.
Hi ka muna sa viewers, Keso. Rinig ka.
Nino?
Wala akong nakastream.
What's up? Wait lang.
Shoutout mo na yung ano mo.
Rinig na yung pag-aalit
Mama mo.
EL. Sa EL ata ako magano atin. Nakakuha ko ng red doon. Kaya ko naman, no? Solo. Para si
kaya.
Sugar.
Kaya na yun.
Nang swap yan.
Lakas ni Bukazuma. Mamatay ah.
Gago na swap na naman ako.
Baka nga.
Ang ilang swap yan. Ang layo. Ayun.
Naka-discard pala kaya marami nagsasalita. Yes! Yan, andito pala si ano, Aryan. Kausapin mo, ano? Sino yung kumakausap kanina? Kay Aryan.
Discard.
God, meron
Chips
na.
yun lagi.
May M na yan.
Si Chips yata yung kanina.
Wala. Yung issue ko.
Wala. Wala ba?
Si Chips.
Wala. Si Chips, prostitute.
Issue.
Biglang deepen eh.
Sulat ka na.
Ubo talaga ng ano. Change attack. Eh, ako na. Nabasag ko. Pwede na. Sino ba yun si ano? La Luna? Indo yun, Indo?
Oo. Ano ng Hestia? Guild leader ng Hestia.
Ba't nyo pinapalipat? Guild leader para yun, gabi.
Babae daw.
Rancor. Turo niya si Rancor.
Rancor gatekeeper.
Aya.
Rancor number 1. Kalautog.
Uy, GG
Sino
do.
naglalaro kaya no? Amaturi.
Kalimutan niya yung skip.
Kapag siya matulog. Opo.
Ayun na.
Umayo. Ito Robs.
Ba't wala siya naka-discard? Hindi siya naka-discard.
Yan.
Hindi na active.
Nako. Nag-fill muna bago mag-rest.
Kaya yan. Yan o.
Naka-auto at
Mag-change job ka kasi pag nag-nerf yung paladin.
Pag na-nerf?
Magpapalit ka.
sa testing nga yata yung Sage, diba?
Na-try ko yung Stalker or Sage.
Lahat naman natatry niyan. Kasi pag lumabas. Lahat pinapalitan niya.
Baka itatry ko yung Stalker. Malakas Stalker sa ROX eh. Kaya itatry ko.
Diba sa PvP, medyo okay.
DPS niyo sa sa ROX.
May parang kasi, may parang auto-guard yung dito. Yung Stalker.
Auto-guard?
Oo. Chance to negate damage. Kaya medyo makunat eh.
Magkakaiwalay sila. Hindi aabot ng oras.
Wala na. Habo to. Isang pitik. Yun o. Makakapitik pa ako. Saglit lang.
Yung Scad. Ano na to? Apix.
EL?
Oo.
Tara, invite.
Sino ba ilaran? Si Embrace Me. Ay, hindi.
CR5.
CR5.
Kagabi, nag-solo ko run yun eh. Gamit ko yung akin, pati yung sa'yo. Nakakabaliw eh.
Tsaka si M
Hello
kasama
po.
mo. Hindi.
Siyo. Si M.
Hindi.
Ano, hindi.
Inubos mo yung 15 assist na.
Raskad. Sino magano?
Fake news.
Graphics.
Ako pwede.
Ay, invite na kita. Sustain ko naman na tong Earthlord.
Teka, change ako.
Ano kay Eko yung one hit pa rin kahit
Magas na lang pala ako.
Kahit
Ako na patay.
104 na yung resilience tsaka penetration.
Tapos na ata si sa Maturi.
Hindi pa. Ano pala yan? Hindi ba na? Kulang yung niyan. Hindi niya tinapos ngayong araw. Ngayong linggo.
Ay, kundi na lang. Nakakaano na. Speed gear. By GE mamaya.
Meron.
Na gilig lang yung wala.
Oo. May nag-request kanina ng Angeling.
Ang
Si Mugen.
Sugo akong trabaho.
Ba't ang katin nun? Mamatay.
Kung di magbibid si Kel eh. Kung walang ibang magbibid.
Kaya na din ni R5.
Tapos yan.
Malalakas na members natin.
Tapos na ata lahat sa EL eh. Bubuhat na naman tayo sa World Chat.
Ako.
Nung ikaw?
Hindi pa tapos sa EL.
Ito tapos.
Hindi ka pa tapos?
Wala.
Ilan pa ata? Sa water na lang.
Itchowin eh. Kaya ba natin water? Tayo lang? Wala si Soul? May
Kailangan ng isang DPS.
Wala
Ayaw
pa,
nga.
di pa kasi kami makaka-full heal doon. Kung
Parang
makaka-full
20k lang yung heal.
heal. Hindi yung damage. Nagpas na damage.
Katangka.
Yung mobs yung problema.
Sudo ko.
So, parang hard na
natin
lang
si
eh, no?
Si Aryan.
Pag 104
Ay,
na.
Nightmare pala to.
104. Oo, parang hard na lang.
Dalawang box.
Kang Mordok.
Dalawang box nakuha ko pero isa lang yung na-announce.
Pag same color.
Pag same color.
Yan si Aryan para ni Scad.
Next target.
Sige siya na naman kayo.
Ay, nakakuha si R5.
Gold weapon.
Gold weapon. Common na yan
Hindi na
sa
pinapasa yung gold weapon eh. Oh.
Nightmare. Common na yan eh.
Laos na yung gold weapon.
Tapos na tayo din. Sa naman tayo red? Gold box. Pick mo muna si R5 o tsaka si Amaturi. Saan ba si Makazuma? Sali ka ba?
Ayun. Lalagin ako.
Naglalaro ka pa eh.
Hey, pwede na ako.
Pwede ako umalis pag ano.
Request.
Kailangan ng ano.
Request pa. Si
Kaya
Scandal.
kaya na ni Scandal.
Viewers.
UI
Kaya na ni
mamaya.
Scandal solo.
UI.
Easy kahit solo.
Para tatlo makadalan.
Bugo. Pwede na. Kanta.
Tatlo.
Ba't si
AFK
Clow?
Di pa tapos si Clow? Ay, oo nga, no?
Hindi pa siya.
Fire pala yung inassist natin kanina. Wala pang ano.
Ayan, kaya yan, no? Kaya na kay Clow.
Nice. Owl.
Pasok ko kaya sa all to, ano? Bawal pa eh.
Yung win, di kaya, no? 150. Kailangan. Hindi kasi nakabili to ng ano, budol. Hindi ako sinabihan.
Kaya yun pag ano, pag
Ay, pwede yan. May dalawa pa
mga
yan.
archer.
May yung dalawa sa normal.
Normal.
May
May
dalawa
budol
sa
pa.
normal.
Alin? Saan?
Normal na water tsaka wind. Lalabas yung budol 120.
Dito?
Pag niran.
Dito? Pag niran?
Yung normal na water and wind, di ba?
Yep.
All yun. 4 and 5.
Pag niran,
Ay.
kahit di lang matapos?
Water yun.
Or kailangan matapos?
Need tapos.
Matapos
Kahit
na
walang
ma-assist.
attempt. Kahit wala.
Kailangan matapos? Nightmare dapat.
Hindi, normal.
Normal.
Normal. Ano ba? Alam ko water tsaka wind yun kasi nakakuha ko sa earth, fire tsaka
Water yung isa.
water normal.
100k.
Scammers.
Wala naman si Arian eh. Ay, bibigger ng puta.
Request.
Wala.
Kanino man makita mo.
Moon. Yan, sa guild na lang.
Sabi na si Man na naman.
Si Bakasuba yung
Puta.
lakas talaga.
Auto lang daw siya.
Nandiyan naman si Scad. Kaya na Scad.
Ba't dalawa lang item mo, baka luma?
Yun lang yung kayang
Always patay.
Ay, hindi nakatulad.
Sa matanungan, points.
Yan na pala si Scandal eh.
Ano to? EL to, no?
Oo.
EL normal. Flo. Are you watching the stream, Flo? Come sing.
Wag. Ba't mo sinabihan? Sasalita sana, sayang.
Ito nagsalita si Clo para ano.
Teka.
Annyeong!
Yan. Open your mic, Clow. Naglalaro din ba si Clow dyan? Ichowen?
Hindi.
Si Pupa lang.
Pupa lang yung hindi Pinoy. Dapat sinalo mo, baka luma. Sayang yun.
Bago, 1-up yun.
Insta uwi ka sana nun.
Lang.
Accept Bakasuba.
Paladin is not OP. Grabe makaspam yung ano. Sa stream.
Si ano ba? Si Chin Valdez.
Hindi na
Hindi. Chin Valdez. Sabi ni Chin Valdez daw. Daming galit.
Sabi ng Pali, hindi OP ang Pali.
Di talaga
Di daw-
OP. Mababa yung ano niya eh. DP.
Chin?
Oo.
Mababa ba? DP no?
Hindi siya aware ng siguro.
Hindi.
Tatlo cash ang taba na niyan. Tagun-tagun mo nga na,
Pero malakas yun, malakas. Kahit hindi whale. Doon ako nanonood ng ano, guide.
Oo.
Sa ML.
Better
Mga
run.
card. Oo.
Plus
Mga
mag
card.
ML.
DML putik.
Na ito naka-divide na.
Ba't may ipo-ipo?
Ewan.
Kala ko win ka.
Tayo na may harpy.
Let's go.
Hindi ako na... Uy, bakit may ipo-ipo dito?
Yung harpy nga. May
Oo
naka-harpy.
nga eh.
Kunwari naglalaro si Bakazuma. Oh.
Gago, tignan mo. Gumagalaw ako dito sa gilid eh.
Yan ang ano yun.
Tangina ng EL mo,
Sa
Bakazuma.
EL pa si Bakasuma. Oh.
Gago, tumakbo pa.
AFK na nga lang, thrower pa rin eh.
Gago, namatay yan.
Ilog na ni Eko.
Di sakit. Ay, loko. Hindi ako gumamit ng ano ah. Berry.
Hindi ka namatay, managinip ka lang.
Scandal. Alright, GG lah.
Hold on.
GG.
Tapos na yan. Ano ba next game sa Odin ka?
Ang ina no.
Toy Factory. Only pan.
One-sided ata eh. Pangit
Hindi. Close fight.
Medyo dikit.
talaga.
Saan kayo nagbet?
Sa ano
Toy
ko,
Factory.
only fan.
Only
fan
fan
ako.
din ako.
Ikaw yan, Toy Factory ka?
Oo, ako nag-bet yan sa'yo ng Toy Factory. Sabi mo, saan ako?
Oo, saan ka? Sige. Panalo naman na tayo sa wipeout eh.
Sa 18k nga yung coins ni JP.
Sa kayo nagbid sa greedy sa continent. Yung medyo
Continent.
Greedy ako.
Sa continent,
Continent?
ako ngayon.
Munin lang si ano dun, si F2P.
Talaga. Kaya ko si Chaos eh. Pero si F2P hindi ko kaya eh.
Kaya ako gumamit eh. Binugbog ko yan, kaya nga tayo natalo eh.
Pero
Kaya
pero
kasalanan
close
niya.
fight tayo sa...
Kaya hindi tayo nakapasok sa ano, Odin Cup. Lower.
Keso, yung kill count lang ni Keso kay JP.
Oo, oo nga pala. Si Keso may gamit.
Sabi ko si Nidol, tap lang daw. No need brain, sabi. Just tap.
Wala thrower. Sayang, nasa TV sana tayo ngayon.
Ito.
Tapos may
Kahit top
ano pa,
32.
offline. May offline.
Tayo sana yung binugbog no Rise, no?
Hindi, tayo yung ano, binugbog ng Whoop Maru.
Siguro ano,
First game, no?
Oo.
Game tayo, first game.
Tayo yung binarubal ng Wukmar.
si Rancor.
Di ba, bet tayo sa sarili natin. Ay, sa kalaban natin.
Heroin yung kalaban.
Ayan. Toy Factory, Power of Friendship. Di nila kaya head doon. Ano? Hindi pa.
Sultan's when. Uy. GG lang.
Hindi kaya.
Usap muna kayo. Ni Scad.
Ikiyo habon di pa.